Hello everyone, this is the video lecture for Precalculus section 6.4 Inverse Trig Functions. We have done this. We have done this back in chapter 5. There are a couple things that are a little different maybe looking, but honestly it's not. So here we go. 64003. I have this really long-looking triangle thing. I'm really gonna try to make this thing look okay. Nope. No. Hold on. I want to make this angle. You know what? I'm just gonna exaggerate it a little bit. It's gonna be okay. I can't even draw a triangle. Okay, there we go. This angle here is theta. I have a 26, I have a 10, I got a 24. Notice that this is going to be my opposite. This is the hypotenuse. It's always the biggest. This is my adjacent. Now that I got these three, they're wanting to know theta is equal to the arc sine of, and then you actually have to put something in the box. Similarly for arc cosine and arc tangent. Now, I'm not going to go way deep into what those are, just like I did last time. Refer back to chapter 5, I would say. What they're honestly wanting here is the ratios in order to get the angles answers. Well, what is the ratio for sine? It's y over r. It's, in this particular case, opposite over hypotenuse. Now, I can't go and write English in there. They're not going to want that. So what is the opposite? 24. What is the hypotenuse? 26. You don't need to simplify. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse? Oh, well, I got that. That's 10 over the 26. And then finally, tangent, y over x, opposite over adjacent. My opposite here is 24. Yep. Sorry. And then my adjacent is a 10. There you go. That's your answers. Next one, kind of similar. 64007. I got the arc sine of square root 2 over 2 is equal to what? You can go to the calculator, any calculator, scientific calculator, and you could put that in, and you would get something. Now, I recommend if you're going to use a calculator, use a degree mode. Now, they're wanting a radian answer, but like if you get a string of, decimals, how do you know what you're going to get unless you divide by pi? So again, just as a reminder, how would I do this in the calculator? So you put this all in. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to show you what I'm going to get. Decimals and all that kind of good stuff. Let's just say that we're in radian mode for just a second here. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm in radian mode before I do all this. Because, I mean, they are wanting a radian answer. Square root of 2 over 2. I got 0.785398, blah, 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 blah. Well, then divide by pi. Again, don't retype it. You just say answer, divide by the pi. And I got 0.25, which math to frac makes a 1/4. So my answer then is not just 1/4 radians, it's 1/4 pi, or again, pi over 4. Now, what if I were to do all this in degree mode? What would it look like? So I know that looks super sloppy, sorry. Degree mode, what would I get now? So just repeat, what would I get? So the arc sine of square root 2 over 2, I got 45 degrees. Well, it's not really the answer. Could I take 45 degrees and somehow convert it into radians? Yep. So either way is perfectly fine if you're going to use calculator. To do it more properly, I'd say, whoa. Hold up. I mistyped something. Well, this is all correct. Okay, let's just leave it the way. This is part A. We're going to do a part B here in a second. Whatever. So yeah, everything's fine there. Cool. The last way I would do it is you can go to the unit circle and you're looking for whenever the y value is this guy. Okay. But remember that sine works only here in quadrants 1 and 4. The positive would be over here. Again, your point is square root 2 over 2, square root 2 over 2. There's your y value, the same as this. And therefore, what's the angle here? The angle was pi over 4. So that's your answer. Okay. So apparently I didn't type it right. I didn't write it out correctly. That was not the true question. But this was very good. Everything's great here. So let's just do part B. It says, hey, now find the arc sine of negative square root 2 over 2. And let's get the answers that way. Okay, well, now, same thing as last time. I'm saying look for the y value when it's this guy here. That's going to be down here in quadrant 4. You could see anytime you got a square root 2 over 2, it's definitely at 45 degrees. So you could just automatically assume you're going to get a 45-degree answer here. There's your y value. So I'm going to say negative 45 degrees because we're down here in quadrant 4, and they're going to want to use negatives. If you want to go back and use your calculator, you'll get a negative 45, and there you go. But they're not going to want the degrees. They're going to want the radians, and that's your answer. Basically the same as last time, but just put a negative on there. Also, cosine, arc cosine of the negative square root 2 over 2. Remember that cosine works in quadrants 1 and 2 this time. So if I'm going to have a negative x value, again, cosine's x value, a negative x value is going to be somewhere over here. These are always going to be 45s anyway, so I'm thinking it's 135 degrees. But if you convert that into radians, it's 3 pi over 4. Okay? And lastly, arc tangent of a negative 1. They just say negative 1. Tangent works right here. Arctan works in 1 in quadrant 4. Negative means going down. This is actually a slope. Remember, we had y values, x values, and now this is a slope. The slope is negative 1. 1 over 1, a 1-to-1 ratio, is at 45 degrees. In this particular case, negative 45. Therefore, negative pi over 4. There you go. This you could type in directly to your calculator. Heck, all of them you can. So use your calculator. Divide by pi or use it in degree mode, whatever you got to do, okay? I'm trying to show you all these different methods. I don't want you to be method overloaded. I just want you to find one that you like and go from there. So this is supposed to be an 8. That's a 7. This is a 90 degrees. That's a theta. It says find theta. And they actually want it in degrees. They have a little degree symbol there, so that's kind of important. What uses sine, cosine, or tangent uses the opposite and the adjacent? Well, it's tangent. So I'm saying that tangent theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. How do I get theta by itself? I'm going to arctan. You can arctan both sides, I guess you can say, to get it to the other side. What I'm really doing, if you really want to know, I'm arctanning both sides, and then these guys cancel, leaving just that theta. Pretty easy. This is definitely a calculator moment. And I got 40. Oh, hold on. Make sure you're in degree mode. 41.1859 degrees. Okay, there you go. That's supposed to be a 9. Okay, now on to a little bit more fun problem. Fun meaning, you know, well, literally fun. Cosine of the arctan of 21 over 20 is equal to what? I really like these problems. I think they're pretty cool. First, what is my answer going to be? This is a ratio. This is a cosine value. This is x over r, or just maybe an x value, either way. But we're saying that this is, you know, this is an adjacent over the hypotenuse. That's my answer. This is my answer, okay? But I've got this thing in the middle that I've got to find. This inside, the arc, is always an angle. Whenever you have arc something, it's an angle. So I'm going to replace it with angle A. Just basically my answer is cosine of A is equal to something. And that's not radians. That's not degrees. It's a ratio. It's a number. Just a number. It's a fraction, I guess you could say. It would be a fraction. Fraction is good. See, fractions. Well, what I need to do is draw a picture, draw a triangle of what's going on here. And so, let's say this is my angle A. Again, theta A. I just angle A. I thought it would be pretty neat to do that. If I look back at my arc tangent, though, remember that this was a y, and this guy was an x. So I got my y, I got my x. Again, opposite, adjacent, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to need that hypotenuse, or r. So that's the square root of 20, oops, dyslexia there, 20 squared plus 21 squared. 20 squared plus 21 squared, and I got 29 with the square root of that. So 29 would be my r. Okay. Well, my answer, again, rewriting it, what am I looking for? Cosine of A. Cosine is x over r. Well, I have that. I got 20. I got 29. There's your answer. You're done. Let's do all this over again. Another problem. 64033. So I've got tangent of the arc sine of 7 over 25 equals what? Again, what are we looking for at the end? It's tangent. Tangent is a y over x. Tangent is a slope. Maybe or maybe not that helps. I don't know, but I like y over x. That's me personally. And what we have on the inside is an angle A. So if I were to draw a triangle, angle A, I have, if you notice, sine is going to be y over r. Y over r. So y value there, I guess. How do I get x? Pretty sure I'm going to have to use x, probably. Oh, right there. See, I'm going to have to use x down there. How do I get x? Pythagorean theorem. So x would be equal to the square root of 25 squared minus the 7 squared. Blah, blah, blah. We get a 24. This is actually one of those special triangles. 7, 24, 25 triangle. I don't know. It doesn't come up every day, but there you go. Well, what was my final answer supposed to be? It was tangent A. Tangent is y over x. Man, I just can't make it any more sloppy than what I have right there. Okay, there we go. Well, that would be 7 over 24. And, well, we're done. That was it. Keep cruising. 64036. I got the sine of the arctan of x is equal to something. Again, what are we looking for? I'm looking for sine, which is going to be like a y over an r. Notice I have an x on the inside, and that really confuses me. I thought we were going to do numbers all day. So using y, r, x, and all that, it kind of like breaks down right here. And maybe in this particular case, I'm wanting to use like opposites, adjacents, just so I don't use a single letter. I don't know. I personally did not do that. I'm just going to show you my triangle. Since we've done this twice, I'm going to do it all over again. That's my angle A. Angle A. And notice that this tangent right here, I'm saying that the tangent A is equal to x. But you know that tangents and sines and cosines and all this stuff is actually fractions. So if I had to make it a fraction, x over 1, I mean, that's a true statement. What I'm seeing then is that this guy here is my opposite, and this guy is my adjacent. Notice that I'm creating a fraction so that I can actually see what those values are. So the opposite and adjacent. Well, then how do I get my hypotenuse? Here, let me actually write these out using the full names. I'm doing that, again, because I'm using an x, and if you start using x here and x there, that doesn't make sense, and all of a sudden it's all weird. So it's just because they already used an x. So how do I get my hypotenuse? You already know it, Pythagorean theorem. So 1 squared plus x squared. And you know what? There's nothing to do there. You're thinking, can I simplify or something? Nope, that is it. Literally don't touch it. Just leave it alone. It's fine the way it is. So remember what we were looking for? Sine of A? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite here was an x. The hypotenuse is that big square root thingy. And then we're done. Like, well, that's it. There's nothing else to do. So there you go. Keep going. 64041. I've got a triangle. They already created it for me. That's nice of them. Thank you. I got a theta. I got an x. I got an h. And they say that x is equal to 6 miles. And they want to know what h is equal to, and they want to know what theta is equal to. I'm trying to remember if this was a word problem or not. I think that this is a word problem. I can't remember, but regardless, if it was a word problem or it had a picture or anything like that, just ignore all that stuff. Just look at what we got and let's go from there. Okay? So what they're wanting to do is have our answers in terms of the other letter that I don't have. I know that sounds weird. Basically, let's just ignore what's going on here, and I need to start setting this thing up. What uses the opposite and adjacent? Tangent does. Tangent of theta is equal to h over x. This is your guy that's going to help us get those answers up there. The thing is that I already know what x is. X is 6. So I could just go ahead and put a 6 in there right now. But hold on. What am I actually asking for? Well, the first one says solve for h. So I'm going to move the 6 over. So I got h is equal to 6 tangent theta. And, well, you're done. You literally type that into WebAssign. 6, T-A-N, and then you can do the theta, and there you go. Okay, cool. The next question's asking for theta. What is theta equal to? Well, I'm going to use this guy. Notice that I had tangent theta is equal to h over 6. How do I get that tangent to the other side? I arctan both sides, and they cancel. But it looks like that. And that is what you're going to type in there. Notice that you have to type the little powery thing. So T-A-N, and what happens on WebAssign, this is kind of weird, T-A-N, and then bloop, and it just all of a sudden comes up with a parenthesis, or like parentheses. It just bloop. And you're like, well, I didn't want that. I wanted an arctan. And so what you have to do, your cursor's blinking right here. You got to back up one and have your cursor blinking here, and then you power and you put that little -1 up there, okay? That's the way. I believe another way is that you can actually type arctan, and it goes bloop, and then you can start typing. I'm pretty sure that works. Just another way to approach that problem, okay? 64043. And so, again, they got a triangle. I'm thinking that this was a word problem, but again, if it's a word problem, ignore all the words. Just focus on the important part here. I got H, I got 680. Part A says find theta in terms of, I don't know, something or other. Well, here's my question. What sine, cosine, or tangent, what would work with the opposite and the hypotenuse? And it's actually a sine. Sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So if I were to find theta, wouldn't I just arc sine to the other side? 680. That's your answer for part A. Just pop it in. Part B says, well, H is equal to 570. Now find your theta. In terms of degrees. Well, we got a formula. So arc sine of 570 over the 680. And remember, they want degrees, so you need to make sure you're in degree mode. Okay? And when I put it in, I got a 56.954 degrees, okay? There we go. Cool. That's actually the end of that section. There's 2 more sections in Chapter 6, but I'm finally done with reviewing Chapter 5 material. We're actually going to do brand new stuff here in 6.5 and 6.6. Brand new, and it's different. So, you know, if you've been thinking, I don't know about watching these videos, guys just going back over the same stuff again. Well, now it's going to count, okay? Don't give up on me here, because it's about to get real. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day.